because something is going to come upon you. See, there are 5 success factors. Sure, you say I should stay. Okay, let me give you something for stay. You want to be successful? 5. And then I'll give you another 5 and I'll stop. Number 1, everybody knows knowledge, 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 knowledge. You have deficiency there, bridge the gap. Bridge the gap. Do the needful. Even God has refused to bless ignorance. In Hosea 4 verse 6, he said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But if you now reject knowledge, I'll reject you from being a priest. I can't use you. God does not bless ignorance. Solve that problem. That's what trainings like this and other trainings that are value adding can do for you. And then, of course, reading and a couple of other things. Number 2 is character, character, character. Integrity, integrity, integrity. Yeah. Knowledge is very important in the success equation, but character is extremely important. Let me just go. Number 3, people, relationships, networks. Build your social capital. For example, if you just have 2,000 young people here, you can double because senators are sitting here. The advantage you have now is that you know them before they get to the house. Governors are sitting here. And for some of you, your husband is sitting here. And she might not yet know that you are the wife. And you might not yet know that the man is your husband. You are busy talking to God and God knows. Be nice to everybody. Don't just come into conferences like this only to gain knowledge. Come in there to gain new social networks. Come in there to expand your influence. Okay. Make sure you make at least 5 new friends before you leave here. Okay. Okay. Number 4, the supernatural advantage. Churches, like to stay on that one, ignoring the other 3. That's what is causing the frustration. The supernatural advantage. You need the supernatural. Oh, you do need it. If it's not important, why are the people ruling you joining our cults? If not important, why are world leaders members of the Illuminati and the different other world organizations? If it's not important, why is the Hollywood entertainment industry? I don't need to tell you that one. Politics is decided by it. Business is decided by it. Ministry is decided by it. Every aspect of society is controlled by it. So if you don't connect with the ultimate power that made the universe, that makes all the other powers bow, you are going to have to be forced to connect with smaller powers and become a slave of fallen powers, angels that were kicked out of God's royal service. You start following rebel soldiers and you become an outlaw in the realm of the spirit. Connect to the benevolent one that made you, that loves you, that made the universe. Don't just know him casually. Don't just know him from a distance. After all, you know your president. There's a president for this country. You know him from a distance. You see him on TV. How many contracts has that brought you? How has that added to your personal net worth? But there are people that know him closely. Those ones are enjoying the dividends. The Bible said he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So, those 4 factors can changes all the equations. I didn't want to spend a lot of time there. Knowledge. Go from just general knowledge to specialized knowledge, especially professional skills. Okay, when you have the 4, there is one more thing that is extremely important. When God made human beings, he gave us a responsibility to have dominion over the earth. It's environment. Bring 2 pieces of corn from one stalk. Put one on this fine rock. Put the other one in the soil. Come back a few weeks after. The one in the soil has unlocked its potential. The one here remains the same. Actually, if you can protect it from rat, because rat will eat it very soon, and other things. But if you can protect it from rats, come 5,000 years after, it remains the same. Nothing has changed. That original one will have given birth to children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. That one corn will have turned, in 5 years, will have turned to over 100 billion pieces of corn. The reason is that, if you understand how this sowing and reaping happens. I just visited a farm in Nasarawa State before coming here. See, harvest is no more plant and reap once in a year. There, what we learned every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, they complete one cycle, bring a harvest, go. And they are growing everything, almost everything that ShopRite needs. They are growing specific harvest for the market. Next year is for Anambra. We're going to partner with those Israeli companies that came to do that. But it's a Nigerian that brought them, and now they have set up the place, trained Nigerians for them, and they are running the place. I went with him to Israel, but he has gone ahead to translate what we saw in Israel into reality here in Nigeria. They grow everything. They grow grapes. All these grapes you are bringing from South Africa, apple, everything. They have disciplined the soil, turned into an environment suitable for those things they said that cannot grow in Nigeria. They grow all the vegetables that ShopRite need. They grow rice, grow millet, grow wheat. They found an export market, and they're growing certain things for them. They found certain things government wanted. They're growing things like rice and co to meet that one. And then they went to ShopRite, found what they needed, and said, stop bringing from South Africa. Where supply is cheaper for you here. Don't need to pay import duties, fly. So they are supplying them everything here. I went into where they're growing meat, they're growing chicken, they're growing eggs, I went into just their poultry. Like this building where we are now, they were able to get like 5 buildings out of this for eggs, for poultry. 5 out of this one building. And then one building, 25,000 beds. Multiply it by 5. You know what shocked me is that 70% of the things we saw growing, they were not growing on soil. They create their own soil. Why did I tell the story about environment? About environment. About environment. You are to dominate your environment. One is to find the right environment where your potentials can be harnessed. Don't say, I must die in my mother's church. Why don't you attend your village school where your mother attended? Find a church that nurtures your potential. Attend trainings and schools that will nurture your potential. work in companies and you can even choose a company that pay less. One offers you 70,000 and this one offers you 40. But that place where they pay you 40 will expose you to certain things that will grow you and prepare you for your next level. And you choose to go there because you actually receiving salary to attend school. After all this theoretical school where you pay school fees, there's now practical school of apprenticeship. The doctors do it. The lawyers do it. They go work in somebody's chambers for a while. Don't just get up and open a chamber. You have studied law, but you have not studied people management. And when you open a chamber, you have other people working for you, hire other lawyers, but you don't know how to manage them. So you want to start a business, but you want to work in this big company that will help you understand how to build organization and manage one. Hello. Now, these are some of the wisdom for controlling and disciplining your environment, because sometimes environment is hostile. It's not what you want it to be. The money you need is not in the soil. So what do? You guys are now young people, you're adults now. If you commit a crime now, you are qualified to go to jail. So at this age now, God will hold you accountable for your life. There are certain decisions now you can now make for yourself. All of you here now are old enough to become somebody's mother or father or mother. One of the ways you deal with environment when it's not, you dominate environment, is by creating alternative system. Stop complaining about what is not working and start learning how to create alternative systems. A talk for another day. The hospitals are not good. Either you train and go in and fix it, or build a new hospital. We don't have enough buses. When work closes, everywhere, human traffic, where they are waiting for, and there are lines waiting for transport. It's opportunity now. Start your own transport business. All the problems you are complaining about are opportunities. So sometimes environment don't give us what we want. That's why we treat the soil, add the extra phosphate, add manure, add those things to make the environment what we want it to be. You see, Owerri is hot. It's also raining in Owerri, today particularly. But I didn't see any rain falling on you now. You know why? You see how they create a roof here? You see how they put air condition here? We are now exercising dominion over the environment. Outside is dark, but I see this place bright, and you're able to see and read. You know why? We are exercising dominion over the environment. You see, this place is a system carved out of the Owerri environment. So if Owerri has certain characteristics, some of them are not conducive for your growth, carve out your own environment, design it the way you want to be able to supply you what you need. Can I hear an amen to that? For example, choose your friends. This is one of the ways you control the environment. The relationship environment is not by force now. Choose them carefully. Find Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. People that are going somewhere like you. People of value like you. Make them your friends. And you will find out that you can be inside Babylon, but Babylon is not affecting you. So when they say fake pastors, all the nonsense that is going on in these last days, but I'm living in the last days. And I'm living a Christian life. I'm first a Christian, not a preacher. I wear many hats, but my number one is I'm a Christian. You're looking for somebody who believes in Jesus, who obeys his teaching, find me guilty. But how? I created my environment. I put myself where the corruption in the world and in the system cannot affect me, so that I can be the salt I'm meant to be. So anytime I show up in the system, I'm adding salt. I'm bringing value. I'm bringing value. The kind of friends I keep are all people of values. You cannot misbehave in our team. You can't. Because we hold each other. We have covenant of accountability among ourselves to hold ourselves to very high standards. You can't. Noah lived in a corrupt age, and he made it in the rapture. If that's putting it symbolically, it was inside that ark. Everybody died in the water. Just because a generation is drowning does not mean you should drown. Everybody's doing it. No, everybody's not doing it, my friends. There are godly men and women in this age. Oh, I'm meeting them as I go. Elijah thought he was God said, "No, my friend, I have 7,000 men that have not kissed Baal." From there, they told him, "Pick your successor." His name is Elisha. He's even a farmer, a businessman, plowing with 12 youths. Go put mantle on him. That's one of the people that have not compromised. He's going to replace you. Okay. So, in business, understanding environment matters, because there are a lot of things in environments. Just like you can have the manures you need to grow your business, you can also have other factors that are. So, environmental scan and understanding your environment is very important. Then understanding how to dominate the environment or rise above. And for those of you that God will use in these last days, if you're going to change a city, if you're going to change a generation, you must rise above it. You must not be caught up in his webs and the corruptions that are in it. You must do what Daniel did. Daniel proposed in his heart, I think Daniel 1:8, that he will not defy himself with all of this mess going on in Babylon. And then you create a system around you to support your values, to protect those values. For example, you cannot make a value to be living godly and holy, sexually pure, and be moving around with people that are immoral. Because evil communication corrupts good moral. If you make one of your values is to achieve academic excellence, you want to be among the best students that your school will produce, find the best 3 in your class, join their group. After you befriend them, there is something that will happen to you after a while. Follow them to read, follow them for prayer, follow them. There is a way you will understand. Because there is success by association. So how many success factors did I give you? So you see, knowledge. Character. Relationships. Social capital. Then I talked about the supernatural advantage. It's a leverage. It's a leverage where you bring it in. And then the power of environment and knowing how to navigate it. I want to start a business and there are existing laws and regulations creating problems. You have to understand that. You don't just and know. Okay. Let me give you the other 5 things I promise, and then I'll be out. The 5 levels of career growth or development. 5 levels. Let me see how much time I have. what I will be able to show you there. 5 levels. Level 1. Meanwhile, before I say this, I want to say here, especially for those of you from the southeast Nigeria, if you get these 3 things right, you will do well. You will succeed. What I was talking about yesterday, I said prosperity is a trinity. At the personal level, the trinity is defined by 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper. That's finance. And be in health. That's physical. Even as your soul prospers. So, this is the trinity they drew there. Apostle John did that. He said, the soul is the starting point. If you develop yourself, then also keep your body healthy. Because this will produce a healthy body. The other third element of the triangle will now be what you do and the outcome of that, your career and vocation to create a living, financial prosperity. But he said all the other 2 will depend on how your soul prospers. So if you go inward, you see your spirit, then you see your intellect, then you see your emotion. You also see your will there. On the societal level, prosperity is also a triangle. It's individual prosperity, corporate or organizational prosperity, and then public prosperity. That's societal prosperity. And it needs to balance. But just like the one that John proposed, society will prosper to the degree the human capital is developed. Organizations too will prosper to the degree they grow their human resources. So if you develop yourself, you can now be an asset to the organization where you work or the one you founded, and then you can be an asset to your country or your community. So you come to the human capital development, the blueprint God left for us in Genesis 1:26. You develop the image of God in a human being. You develop the likeness, then you develop dominion. And this is what he means in literal sense. Develop his spiritual and moral capital. And you can see that is the residence of religion. That's where the church does not have competition. Because no government can shape the heart. They can make laws, but they cannot register it from paper to the human soul. But when God said, I'll write my laws in their heart, I'll write it in their mind, the only institution that have the authorized with the ability to do this is the church. So you see, they can make all the laws, have security men everywhere, but they can't really do the fundamental thing required to change the society. The teachers can't. The hospitals can't. The prisons can't. As a matter of fact, when they send small criminals to prison, they come out matured criminals. Because the more senior ones, more advanced ones, corrupt that one. So every area where human affairs spread, the church must get involved because there is a fundamental thing. Somebody said, we don't need religion. We don't need Jesus. We don't need all that. What we need is to grow our finance. Nigeria needs to, all these churches need to shut down. Let them focus on growing our economy. Turn all the churches to maybe schools. Turn them to farms so that we can grow our economy. You are not the first to propound that theory. That is the theory on which communism was built on. That's Karl Marx's theory. It's just advanced economic growth. Everybody will be fine in the society. You are joking. what you have forgotten is that the fundamental thing that makes society good or bad is not the bad roads or the good roads, it's the quality of human beings that live there. Who kidnap people in Nigeria? Our flyovers, the hospitals. Who rob people in Nigeria? The electric poles. Who poison people? Who do human ritual? Who steal our money? So, you see, national development is primarily two things. One is human capital development. The other is now infrastructure or development, dominating the environment and developing it. But what people think is if we just take care of those things, everything will be fine. The greatest joke of the century. The first thing to take care of in nation building is the human being. And when you get to taking care of the human being, there is a place where government, schools, and others can begin. They begin with the mind. So, but none of them can shift the heart. The heart of the human problem is the problem of the human heart. Evil is resident in the human heart. That's where God gave the church a mandate. The spiritual and moral formation form the image of God in people. Make everybody like God. Make them compassionate. Make them people of integrity. Make them kind. Make them generous. Make them tolerant. Make them humble. You see, government cannot legislate humility. They want it, but they can't create it. This is what some of you should make your lifetime vocation. While some are treating the body, doctors. Others are taking care of cases, lawyers. Others are treating our cars. Make engineers, Some of you should be treating human beings. Because after all the other ones have done their job, and the principal job is not done, we're in a big problem as a nation. That's why we are here. So the first is the image. And if it's done right, that's why today's church is losing its mission. They don't understand what it is anymore and how to do it. Many pastors have gone off. But that assignment is the greatest assignment, the greatest vocation in every social setting. To join God in the making of human beings. Then right after that is to make them in our likeness. This is now, the first one is spiritual formation, moral formation, to produce good people, trustworthy people, reliable people. The second one now, the likeness, is to produce intelligent, skilled, and capable people. That's where education comes in. It's intellectual, emotional, and professional development. That's part of why you will notice that here, we don't just come here to tell you only of spiritual things and all moral things. But that's also why we bring in some sessions to take care of that. So that you can create people that are competent, who can get the job done, who can solve problems, who can deliver results. Yesterday in the rally, I asked the question, which one is more important? To have a very good man, but he cannot do the job. He's illiterate, he's incompetent. But he's good. He can't see your money. He's very honest, he's very kind, but he can't do the job. Or to get a very competent person, very intelligent, well-trained, well-educated, but extremely corrupt and evil. That second one is the description of Lucifer, Satan. He's not a fool, he's a very intelligent person. They said he was even wiser than other creatures that God made. But he is evil today. He wasn't evil when he was made, but he became corrupt. And now he is the greatest problem, because we have a smooth criminal, we have an intelligent criminal, we have a skillful criminal loose in the society. And being a spirit being, police can't arrest him, FBI can't track him, SARS can't catch him, guns don't kill him. And he's wreaking havoc everywhere and recruiting young people everywhere. And because he's very intelligent, he knows what people want and he uses it. Sex, women, power, money. And he's luring millions of young people and destroying them. Which one is better? God said, I don't want this or that. You have to have both if you're going to create success, if you're going to create dominion. I want it to be godly. I want it to be good. I want it to be ethical. I want it to be morally sound. I want it to be an honest person. I want it to be trustworthy. But I want it to be competent. I want it to be educated. I want it to be intelligent. I want it to be knowledgeable. I want it to be competent, a skill. Give him the job, he will deliver. And that's the kind of man I trust. So this is the work you have to do on yourself. Maybe you go to church and you sleep in church every day. That is not enough to get you out of the hook. Maybe you're only good for heaven and useless for earth. He said over 90% of Nigerian graduates are unemployable. It's time to stop that mess. If you are a child of God, you cannot be incompetent. You are disgracing your redemption. Jesus didn't just come around preaching. He first practiced a profession. He was a carpenter. Actually, maybe the word carpenter is what is making you. No, the guy was into interior decor furnitures and. Do you know that sometimes finishing a building costs as much as constructing it? And sometimes more. Somebody said he was a bivocational preacher. But things grew to a point where he finally left the lower one to focus on molding human beings, serving human beings, grooming human beings. That's my profession. Human beings are my business. That's the profession the Almighty God does. Let us make man. While some others are to build flyovers, build roads, I want to build the quality of human beings that will live in that society. So, here in the Southeast, and I'm advocating. This thing going on in Anambra and Aba, little children, primary school, they jump into the market. It needs to be banned. And it happens. They should arrest the parents. They shouldn't treat them too much punishment, but just small penalties to encourage people to let them get education. Maybe at least secondary school, minimum, graduate, then you can go. The truth is that it should be at least, even if it's one level in tertiary education, even if it's OND or whatever. That's why the frustration, you are not going to have dominion that way. You don't fly as an eagle with one wing. You need the image, you need character, but you need competence. You need knowledge, you need skill, you need wisdom. With that you can balance. If you give the Southeast people this balanced development, they will move to level 3, which is dominion. If you give the Nigerian youth this balanced development, they will move to level 3. They will become Sussex. And even if you are moving abroad, the countries will be glad to have you. You don't export liabilities to other people. Morally bankrupt youths or incompetent youths. You don't export ignorance unless you are traveling to go and brush off yourself, get further education. So, see what I've recommended for you. Moral competence and stamina, number 1, as foundation. Of course, plus the fact that there should be salvation there. Number 2, knowledge and wisdom. Professional competence is what I'm recommending for you as number 2. And number 3 is wealth creation capacity. Number 3. You see, is leadership and wealth creation abilities. Either you go through entrepreneurship route or you go through professionalism. Don't just walk. You just walk anyhow. That leads me to 5 levels of growth in whatever vocation. If you're a preacher, if you're a professional, if you're a career person, if you're a business, there are 5 levels. Level 1. Unskilled labor. And millions of people, millions of our young people are trapped there. And that's why I'm recommending that in Abia State, Anambra State, you need to stop this child labor thing we are doing in the name of sending them into markets and all that. Let those children go through school. And then they can go and pursue whatever business they want to do. I'm not against business. Unskilled labor. What is creating that? Lack of human capital development. It's human resource, the greatest resource on earth. But it remains raw material when it's not developed. Unskilled labor, and they fill our churches. Unskilled labor, they fill the markets. Unskilled labor. Have you ever gone to Obomanu joints? Where you can get anybody cleaner, whatever. Roadside mechanics. If you bring some of these modern cars, high-tech, when they finish handling it, your car will develop all the problems that was not there before. Quack doctors. Quack lawyers. Fake pastors. They are now on the increase. When you stand in the presence of a real man of God, there is a difference. I saw them. I saw your mother's side. I saw this. What do you see? When are you going to be tired of that nonsense and get yourself in a place where you can grow up? Unskilled level. 90% of our graduates are unemployed. So even now we have what takes up, and that is the home of poverty, especially extreme poverty, is that place. These are resources that are not developed. When human resource is passed through development, capacity building, education, they exit that place and become human capital. So this is the home of poverty. This is the problem of Africa. And what is the bridge out of that place? Education. Combined with redemption. There are all two types of education. Educating the human spirit and educating his intellect and emotion and developing the total man. But here is the point. Here is the issue. Now we have millions of young people again that have gone through school, graduated, and they are still part of unskilled level. Give them a letter to write. If you see the English and the grammar, give them a job to do. It's graduate of computer science. Give her something to type in the computer. Give her just one small assignment. Why? Because what is going on now, people are sleeping their way through to graduation. People are paying their way through to graduation. Those that join campus courtesans are using intimidation, gun and whatever to intimidate lecturers to give them what they want. They have found different ways of using coercive power to achieve the end, but at the end of the day, they don't really get to the end. Bottom power, money power. So at the end of the day, you are a quack doctor, but you're answering doctor. And people are dying in your hospital. You are a quack. And you can only go so far. Somewhere along there is going to catch up. You were a quack pastor. You didn't go through any development. God called me. So what? The most important profession of God called me. You rush into it. You start lying and manipulating people with the name of God. So God called me to be a doctor. I can just go and open up a hospital. God called me to be a pilot, so I can enter cockpit and start flying aircraft. And what is sad, how people go and sit in such aircraft and let somebody crash your destiny. That's the home of poverty and frustration. The way out of that place is go and develop your resource and turn it to a capital, turn it to a bankable asset, turn it to a sportable asset, turn it to an employable asset, turn it to value. Become a living, breathing, and walking value. Education, education, education. I don't just mean formal. Maybe some of you are already graduate. You have to now look for institution that can give you what you want. You have to go to Faith Foundation and get entrepreneurship training. You have to go like this place I was talking about now. They are providing Israel-specific kind of agricultural training. You go there, you come out, you can grow anything anywhere. You can imagine churning harvest in a very hot place like Nasarawa State. Very hot. They condition, create green, and they are growing the thing the minimum is 4 times in a year. He said dry season that there's no harvest. It dry season even when they harvest the most. So, you see, whichever field, man, you have to go and get. Okay, so level 2 is professional skills. Some people use the word vocational skills. Now, you move to this level, you can get a job. You have acquired professional skills, knowledge that is needed in the marketplace. You get a job, a good job. So as a doctor, somebody will employ you. Lawyer, a chamber will hire you. You groom yourself well. Some good churches would like to have you as a pastor. A man who gets professional skills will surely get a job, and he will get a good pay. And that will exit him out of poverty. And he will move into a realm of just enough. He can meet his needs. He can pay his bills. He can marry. He can raise his children. And as you upgrade your skills, you also advance yourself in that area. So there are levels of growth even within that space. There are high income level earners. There are people that are just earning at the bottom line. It all depends on the level of value you bring to the table, the quality of problems you can solve, and so on. And I'm sure Prof talked to you about future-ready skills. The days are here now. They are just, it's no more hiring you for how many books you crammed and wrote one exam, collected 2-1. It's now about what problems you can solve, what value you are bringing on the table. Okay. And so we have a group of young people that have gotten jobs, are doing well, and they are all at this level. If you want to grow beyond that, because God wants you to have dominion, you have started the journey if you move to this, but that's not where dominion is found. There is a third level, is to grow to develop managerial skills. Not just job skills. What happens now is that you learn how to run the whole organization. You learn how to lead others. You learn how to manage other resources, human resources like you. You learn how to manage other resources beyond human beings. And so what happens is that the owners of the organizations, the owners of the institutions will now entrust you with their whole organization. And so they move you to a place where your colleagues are not. And they pay you, and sometimes 3 times what the colleagues have. Actually, you even sit where you are helping to decide the fate of others. I think I need to explain something to you. 2 doctors get a job at the teaching hospital. And they are good doctors, doing operation, doing whatever it is. Because medicine, when you graduate, all you have is a technical skill, a job skill. You're not different from a mechanic. The difference is that you are working on human body, somebody is working on a car. You're not even different from a professional carpenter. You might think because it's medicine, doctor. No. You can be a doctor in anything. You can be a doctor of education. You can be a doctor. And there's nobody that has doctorate in knowledge. You only have doctor of an area of knowledge. There is even nothing like doctor of medicine. You might have your doctorate in gynecology, an aspect of medicine. While another person has his own doctorate in dentistry. So don't let that get into your head. You are just a technician. All you have is vocational skill like every other person. You're a good pastor, you can preach. All you have is vocational skill. Don't let it get into your head. You are just a preaching technician. That's what a pilot has. It's the same skill in his own field that is making him fly aircraft. So when pilot comes to your church, he sits down, you fly him through the service. When you get to his church, you sit at the back, he flies you through your journey. But what is going to separate those 2 doctors is that if this one develops additional skill beyond his professional skill, beyond the technical, the job skill that he has to treat people, and grows management skill, what will happen now? He moves to a new level where he is the one helping to employ, maybe manage other doctors. At that time, other doctors now answer him, sir. Part of his details might have him power to hire and fire. Part of his details might be the one that give you query. You are now a doctor. If you say, but I came to this hospital before you, who is talking about when you came? We're talking about what you can do. There is organizational skills. There are people skills. That's what makes a manager. There are leadership skills beyond professional skills. There are visionary skills. There are communication skills beyond just being able to do the job. Okay. 3 major skills makes a manager. Number 1. Number 1. Technical skill. And that is really needed or highly needed at the entry level of management. Supervisors, cell leaders, departmental heads. At that level, technical skill is still important because the people, the team you lead and the department you lead also need to see that our leader can also do this. So you inspire your people. But then, after that, is people skills. As you grow in management, you get to a level where technical skill is not important. There are doctors, they don't do operation, they don't treat, they don't do anything. They only run the hospital. Other doctors now do it. So at the beginning stage, you need to be able to do that, to grow into. That's why when you get a job and you're working in a place, don't just stop at being able to count money in the counter in a bank. Make friends with HR. Make friends with other departments that are decided, that are running that organization, that are paying you at the end of the month, that give you query. Make friends with management. Tell them, I'm so grateful that I met you in this bank. I'm your protege. I want to be under you for mentorship. And sir, you really inspire me and all that. Please, sir, can you accept me as your protege and take me through? There are meetings that are held, you are not invited because you are staff, but they are in management. There are 10 boardroom meetings where your fate is decided. They will tell you, this is what you should do. Put this one, put this together. See. Management is worried about you. They need to groom you out of staff level to management level. You need to groom yourself out of staff level to management level. If your organization you work in a place where they have such opportunities, they send you for training abroad, they send you to different, take it. Don't play with it because you will stay there working and be earning just enough. You need to move to more than enough level of income, where you have excess after meeting needs, so you can drive a vision. And if you're in the kingdom, you need to have that so you can finance the kingdom. When they're raising funds, they need to build children's school, need to build this. You say, Lord, I really want to, but look at me. Well, stop complaining and do something about the level of problem, the quality of problem you solve, and the level of value you bring to the table. Hello. I'm trying to challenge you. I'm not angry at you. When I'm challenged, I'm a very powerful coach. So when we bring you to the field to train you for world championship, it's not smiling time. We want you to become Maradona, better than him. Because you're going to play with AC Barcelona, you're going to play with Chelsea. So we're not prepare you to play with Nike Club. That's what we're grooming you guys to become global leaders. Because the world has changed. You're not just competing with girls and boys now. You're going to be playing on the world stage with all these Chinese boys and Jewish boys and all these Indian guys that are tech gurus. Those are the kind of people you're going to be competing with for meager resources of the earth. That's why every time they talk about downsizing the world population, the first place they think about is Africa. And we only know how to make babies. But to train them and give them education, we don't know how to. That era has ended. When the world sit to think about liability on earth, they think about you only eating food. That era has ended. We're going to be sitting in those tables when they're discussing population control. We put our own. We need to reduce the population of whites You guys are becoming drug addicts. I did a project in New York this year. People in the streets, drug addicts. And you see the man, you see a girl. They are sleeping in the street. Over 10,000. And what shocked me, I thought majority of the people I would meet were blacks. Majority were whites. Next year, let's go back to this career thing. Okay, since my time is up, let me see if I can give you one more. So, there are 3 skills that make a manager. First, at the beginning stage, professional job skills, all of that. Technical skills. Because you're going to lead people, you need to also show that you can do it. So that when you start leading, nobody can confuse you. You need to grow through the line. Second is people skills. The ability to manage people. The ability to manage conflicts. Relationship skills. The ability to inspire people. The ability to motivate people. The ability to unlock other people's potentials. The ability to identify talents and attract them. The ability to groom other people, to mentor, to coach, to empower and train other people. When you learn that skill that makes human beings now your business, you graduate where you don't have to do the job. You now manage the people that do the job. So management is now getting the job done through people. You are no more kadeke kebos tuti shaya. I will interpret that tongue. I'm controlling my Pentecostal excesses because I'm speaking to the nation and including Muslims. You think you're the only ones I'm talking to. I'm speaking to Nigeria. Hello, how are you? So you move from being a player to a coach. I know some of you like playing the ball so much that you can't graduate. Then, to move you to the highest level of management, you need to develop conceptual skills. Maybe I wish DC pastors are here so they can hear me say this. Pastor Knobs, that's the difference. Why I can be at home and I'm not a national youth or in any program. You guys are there, but I'm the one running the program from behind. They finish in the evening, I give them direction what happens the next day. The reason is there is a skill. One of the conceptual skills is vision. One of the conceptual skills is strategy. Not just that we have seen where we are going, because if you stop seeing the future, you stop the people from moving. All you'll be doing is maintaining the status quo. One of the conceptual skills is strategy. Now we've said we're going there. How do we go from here to there? So when you go to the boardroom, the highest level of management or leadership, for example, the board, And then you get to where the CEO meets with the top management or the MD meets with. These are some of the issues that are bothering them. So you assume that you driving the truck, you counting money in the bank, they just pay me 70,000 at the end of the. And these guys go home with millions that, meanwhile we are the ones doing the work. Monkey the work, baboon the chop. No. Smart work is far superior than hard work. Working with your head, working with your mind, work is far advanced than working with your hands. The one who works with his upstairs will rule over the ones who works with his hands. The one who works well with his hand will get the job. But the one who works with his mind will be his boss. Do you see how to go to dominion? Part of conceptual skill is problem solving skills. Part of it is analytical skills, analytical thinking, and even strategic thinking. You see this doctifying. This program ends. All of you will go home. So nice, national youth. He will give me a week to rest. Next day he comes. That's how he operates. He said, DP, this one, we didn't get it. This one, because he has training that equips him with skill to assess, measure performance, measure. That's what I'm talking about. Those things move you to the next level. Because sometimes, as a leader, I sit down and I wonder, why is it that our pastors can't preempt this thing? Why is it that they can't see this? And when I call them and talk, they don't even see that there's any problem. Because sometimes the guy is busy enjoying his technical skill as a preacher. I will come from my place and show him, we need to buy this land. Why is it that he's in the city? He's not seeing when the city is moving. That the church needs to move. We need to buy the land ahead, like the Catholic Church. Then the city comes to meet them. You put a whatever ahead. Why is it that they are not thinking? Why is it that they are maintainers? You can be a leader that way. Why is it that the foresight is missing? Foresight is why we are doing this project we are doing for you. We've seen where the world is going. We've seen how Africa is lagging behind. And we've seen the bulging population of African youths. And we've seen the problem that is waiting for our countries if something does not happen. And we can see that government cannot see. We've seen that these same African youth will have to be put in the same platform to compete with these kids, which kids from around the world. We've missed the first industrial revolution, missed the second, we want to miss, God forbid. The world is moving towards the fourth major industrial revolution. At least let us play a major role in this one and be among the leaders. Thank God that many of you are getting the opportunity to hear this early. That's why I greeted you, In my eyes, you look so young and pretty. But it might be deception, sometimes look can be deceptive. But you look it. You look it. It's early. First lady on the making. This girl. Oh, there is one level beyond that. When you get a job, you work for somebody. When you become a manager, you work with somebody. You can be trusted to be brought to the decision table and have access to one of the most powerful things in an organization, information, and be involved in decision making. And actually, when we're talking, I think it was in the morning session where I was talking about servant leadership. In servant leadership, you seek input from stakeholders and make sure they're involved in decision making. And that smoothens your leadership and make things easier for you. But many organizations don't do that. They don't consult you. But now you can sit at the dining table and your earning power jumps, skyrockets. But then, after you have been and understood how to run organization, how to run systems, how to deploy systems, there is one more level. It is where you step out to own your own organization. Create another institution that can now help create jobs. Decide. Some of you jump to that place too early. That's the problem. Graduate from school, you jump. You have started one thing. Because you just came out of law school, you start a law chambers. Who is going to come to hire you? Other people who don't have much to do. People like me, I don't have time for you. Because a bad lawyer will lose a good case. Meanwhile, a good lawyer can win a bad case. At this level, two things you do. One is to start your own organization. You have learned the rope. You have climbed the ladder. Launch your own business. Launch your own. Or you now negotiate a way of working with your existing organization, where you now work with your organization, not for your organization. You become a partner. You remember some of those guys that work with Bill Gates at the beginning of Microsoft, all of them have shares in Microsoft. And you see, it's better to be the leg of an elephant than to be the head of an ant. It's better to be the leg of an elephant than to be the whole of a rabbit. So it's not just about, I started my own, whatever, that is the point. You're part of a winning team, a winning organization. You can now. And this is the reason why in Dominions we chose not to pay. We don't want to keep people. We want them, as they gain knowledge, to be able to also grow into higher level. That percentage thing we did is that we gave every pastor here a shareholding in the system. And so you can be anything you want. If you want to start building a university, free. If you want to be doing Night of Glory in all the countries on earth, free. If you want to build secondary school, free. What is it that GO is enjoying you cannot do? You are allowed to do all of them. So now, you can have national youth in Imo State that won't show up. Nothing will be missing. It's just, that presence of a father, that a father is sitting in the house, coach is looking at, nothing will be missing. There are guys more dangerous than me here. So the Lord has taught me a secret. Sit down at my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. You don't have to be in the battle anymore. But you fought so that your men have learned how to kill Goliaths. Now they can kill Goliaths. So that's what I'm recommending to you. Don't build an aquarium. If you build an organization, build an ocean where everybody can grow to their size as shark, as whales. Don't build an organization that serves only one man's interest. Build an organization that serves the common good and corporate interest. Leaders that do that must learn how to die at a point. The pioneer spirit must give way sometimes so it can allow professionalism and some others. You got that? Yeah? You got it? So you see what we're doing with some of these are small boys that have not finished secondary school. We're pushing into to start shops. They're pushing little kids, primary school kids, to go and start families. Now a baby is carrying a baby. And he's robbed of his child because he hasn't grown and developed. There's one more skill. When you succeed, you learn business skills, entrepreneurial skills, organizational development, and even how to run organizational leadership, and you can build any world-class organization. I'm not just talking about pioneering things. There are 5 steps in developing that, but that's a different talk. Anyway, there's one more level in growth. It is to cultivate transformational skills. At this level, it's no more about me succeeding. It's no more about me making money. It's about what I can do to go and impact my society and my world. Truly, 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 this is the stage when you can go into public service, like politics. You don't go to politics to make money. You finish making money. You must have succeeded in one institution, running one organization, one institution, living certain, and then we now come to help us manage our common good and manage our commonwealth. This is also that stage where people that have built organizations, done well, if they are business profit-making organization, and also create another organization for the purpose of giving back and solving problems for the world. They bet a foundation. Like yesterday I was talking about Rockefeller. The rich man in the Bible died when he got so rich and thought that was it. That's ultimate success. No, money is not ultimate success. Success in your business is not ultimate success. It's what that business or what you and that business do for your society and your world. Then you know that you have fulfilled God's ideal for mankind. Someone like Jimmy Carter, after being president, what else? He joins a foundation, World Habitat. They're going around poor communities in Africa, different places, building houses for poor people. That's what a former president is doing. You see him in jeans with t-shirt, roll back. That's ministry. You acquire transformational skills and learn how to impact your world. Here is the secret now. You don't wait till you succeed in career to acquire that. Right from day one, now you know what it would take you to get to the height of dominion. You start from day one to move in that direction. You don't just go study law, get an MBA, get some management skills attached to that. Take multiple skills when you go into your profession. They might be paying you for this for a start, or you're just there to gain exposure, gain experience, but you have more things you can bring to the table. And you are going to make your journey much faster than others. God bless you and cause his favor to rest upon you. Cause you to reach the peak of what he has planned for you. Cause that you are not going to stop halfway or get grounded halfway. You will go all all the way to the top. Because that's the covenant that he has made over your head. That you are going to be the head and not the tail. That you are going to be above only. Dominion is your destination. Where you stand out in your field. I release that blessing upon you, every one of you. None of you will be ordinary. Every one of you will distinguish yourselves like Daniel, like Joseph, in your different fields. May the hand of the one that made you, the Creator himself, and the hand of the one that saved you, that died for you on the cross, and the power of the Holy Spirit combine to rest on your life, to help you in the making and the shaping of your future till you become all that God has planned for you to be. God bless you. God bless you.